is Tim Geddes.
Come show the people. You're pretty in pink, Greg Miller.
I'll tell you what, they haven't seen the pink shirt in a while, but it's coming back for episode 2 of Batman Unmasked.
All right, that's enough. Get out.
See you guys later. Have a great show.
Have fun. Good luck. Don't get anyone pregnant or too pregnant.
7 pieces of news, if I remember correctly, today. Also, repping the Gal Gun panties. I dripped a little bit of water on the table today, and I wanted to wipe it up. So these panties, indeed, are wet.
Yeah! Bow, 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 bow!
I want to see if Luigi can catch it. Nah, I didn't do it. I want to start with a sad piece of news. Now, this news happened yesterday when the show should have been on or around that time. So it is old news, but I feel I would be remiss not to mention it because he is such a G. Gene Wilder is dead. This is terrible.
Yeah.
We won't read the story. Rather, I have a variety story up if you want to see it. For those that don't know, the youngins out there, the Gene Wilder, best known for Willy Wonka, also like Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think that he is just a legendary comedic genius. He just understood. Willy Wonka is like his Willy Wonka is fucking
perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's the thing. Is like when you talk about characters and the actors and their performances, like he made that character. Like the book is so good, you know.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Somehow the movie improved on that character, and gave it an extra layer and just a different. He's so good at being him and like being funny and being kind of creepy and scary, but also being very welcoming and you know what I mean? It's just like he nailed the subtlety and the nuance of the character in a way that like I think that even your imagination your pure imagination can't do.
Good, I like the reference. Gene, we miss you, we love you. For those who haven't, obviously I think most of you or all of you have seen Willy Wonka, but check out Young Frankenstein too. That was one of my dad's favorite movies and that movie's fucking rad. That movie's, just go watch it. So R.I.P. Gene Wilder. We'll miss you very much.
My new roommate, Sean Pitts from IGN, he went to Supercuts and he showed them a picture of you and he's like, cut my hair like this. And she was like, I cut his hair.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I liked it until he went to the same place and now they know who I am. Because that's weird, because I always show a picture of me.
Carlos Red 8 gave us a tip, said, hey Colin and Tim, Aaron making problems in the chat. You will get nachos tonight. I'll fucking make the nachos tonight, okay? Now here's the thing. I'm curious about what you guys think about this. I typically make a 4-layer nacho that we eat a lot. And I used to put like a pound of ground beef on it and I would like 80-20 beef and then I would like spice it with a lot of black pepper and garlic powder. Then I actually bought these long, hot Italian sausages and gutted them. And I gutted them, right? And then crumbled them in and didn't spice them at all. And I gotta tell you, I know it sounds unintuitive and I know it sounds weird, but tons of cheddar cheese, fried onions, and sausage on nachos with like some pico is fucking good. Like really good. I know it doesn't sound right.
No,
it doesn't sound right.
I mean, dude, the thing about nachos is all they are is a way to just put a bunch of shit in your mouth at once. Whatever that shit is, you do you, Colin, man. I believe in you.
Thank you.
I believe in your Italian sausage.
Appreciate
it.
You know? Yeah,
that's all I want on my nachos.
So does everyone else.
Yeah.
You can't avoid the event horizon, can you? Audience. GJXLO gives tips at Tim. New Hatsune Miku game is released today in English. What would I have to do to get you to try this? I think it is your kind of game. I don't think it's his kind of game.
I don't think it is my type of game. I mean, I don't know. I'm very fascinated with this whole Hatsune Miku thing. Like, it's crazy that that's real and that people enjoy it, and I'm into that. Like, I love the production of it. I love the just... If it was just a hologram concert, that's cool to me. But the fact that she sounds like she's... like what Sonic the Hedgehog running sounds like when she sings, which is like... Like, what the hell? But like, good for
Can
them.
I get a Minority Report on that?
Not good, Tim.
No. I mean, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I
Is that what she sounds like?
I just like asking Kevin for
it's like
Minority Report.
high-pitched, like it's just super fast, like robot stuff. I mean, I'm correct in this, right?
Yeah. You are.
All right then, good. Is that what you want to
the
hear?
Minority Report?
I don't know. Am I being racist towards robots?
Japanese robots.
Yeah, you don't like robots.
Oh, there wasn't even Japanese in there.
Zyger gave us the final tip, and I'm calling him. No more tips. And then he says, P.S. Colin, Aaron is in the chat and is demanding his attention. I think you should be working right now. That's my theory. Oh, that was probably not. That didn't sound very good, did it? Sorry about that, Kevin. I will make the nachos, and we'll record it. Okay? We'll record it, because like, apparently that's something that we want to do. Not very complicated.
What else are you going to record, Colin?
The aftermath.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm talking, of course, about the empty plate.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Italian sausage.
You guys are all perverts.
Yeah.
Malik's Gamertag TV says, hey, Colin and Tim, I just received my first student loan bill for my $30,000 debt. Any advice on paying this off? You have got to, first of all, you can't declare bankruptcy on student debt. It's not consumer debt. So it's going to be stuck with you forever, regardless. Make sure that the interest doesn't capitalize to the point where you're paying more than the principal. So I would pay off as much as you possibly can every month, like as much as you're comfortable with, to make sure that the capital is getting, or the principal rather, is getting shaved down. Otherwise, you'll have no hope of paying it down. I sympathize, though. I owe 3 times that much when I started paying, and I cried when I got my bill for the first time. Because I was making at IGN, well, I guess I won't say, but a fourth of my pay was going to my student loans when I started.
I'd go a different direction. Run. Start a new life. You are now Pablo Jacobson. You need to just take everything that you have and go to either Canada or Mexico, whichever's closer. I don't know where you live, but you just get there fast. Pablo Jacobson, you now have a wife. Her name is Carly. She's beautiful. She doesn't really exist, I'm sorry, but you need to create the illusion to everyone around you that she exists. You do not need to pay your debt. You can live the rest of your life happy with your imaginary
You can never
family.
come back here, though, to the States.
Yeah, that was your choice. Shouldn't have went to an expensive school.
So here's the thing, and this is going to sound a little crazy too. $30,000 is actually not that much money in the grand scheme of things. Like if you have to pay it off over 20 years, like that sucks. That's really sucks, but it's not as bad as it seems right now. Like when you get stable and you start making money, you'll be able to pay it off more quickly. But I sympathize 100%. I owe $500 a month until 2027 on my student loans. So
Say hi to Carly for me.
next story is about Stranger Things,
Typo, Strangers Things.
which has officially been renewed for season 2 and will debut in 2017. It says, quote, there's definitely some dangling threads at the end, and he's talking about the end of the last episode. It's open-ended so that if people want it, if Netflix wanted it, we could explore that and continue the storyline. So,
I'm excited as shit.
because there was a lot of conjecture on, is it going to be like True Detective? Where it's going to be like
Which
a
would have been
different...
really cool also.
Yeah, but it seems like that's
But-
not going to be the case, which is my preference.
Yeah, I want to see those kids.
Fuck. You want to see
Jesus.
them grow up and fuck things and people.
Nah.
Yeah?
No. Maybe,
It's okay to say it.
maybe like
The boys
older-
were young, but you could see that they were going to become hot.
Maybe the older brother.
It's okay to say what you're thinking, Kev. I don't think I can buy it off I can't buy it off iTunes or anything, right?
I'm sure that can be arranged though. You just say
I'm
the
not
word.
going to do the illegals, Kevin. I won't be part of the problem.
You won't do the illegals.
I won't do the
Can I-
illegals.
can I get a-
I've done an illegal before, but I won't do the
Can I
illegal
get a minority
downloading.
report on that?
No bueno.
Oh.
What? 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 Give me my one shot. I saw what you're up to. So suck a dick, Kevin, you piece of garbage. If I ever see you in the streets, Kevin, you ain't gonna be good. Take your little fucking hat off, shove it up your ass. Then I'll call Paula while I'll put my foot in your mouth and I'll call Paula. And I'll be like, guess what, he's dead. And you'll be like, woo, 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 and she won't hear it. And she'll be like, what do I do? And I'm like, move on. There's gotta be someone hot where you work. Go fuck him right now.
All right.
And you'll have my foot in your mouth, Kevin. And you'll have my foot in your mouth, Kevin.
Next story. Real Radic gave us a tip. Real Radic 13 says, sorry, but Five Guys is overrated. Also, what are your picks for the most underrated and overrated fast food chains? I say Chipotle for overrated and Burger King for underrated. Thank you. Thanks and enjoy your day. Give me the one. Real Radic 13, I never want you in here ever again. I don't want any more of your money. I don't want any more of your clicks. I don't want you in this chat. I don't want you watching the show. I don't want you looking at this beautiful fucking face anymore. You talk shit about Five Guys one more fucking time. One more time. And Kevin's coming for you.
Wow.
Thank you, Kevin.
That being said, Five Guys is, it's all right.
Is it overrated though?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Everyone sits there like that and Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is overrated.
Yeah.
Now that's blasphemy to the ultimate extent.
No.
I won't pick up my saber to fight you on the field of battle for Five Guys because I've only had it a couple times. But Chick-fil-A, sir? Chick-fil-A is overrated?
It's a dry chicken sandwich.
It's a dry chicken sandwich?
You make a significantly better chicken sandwich
Thank you.
that I still to
No,
this,
he fucking
stop.
doesn't.
To
No,
this
he
moment,
doesn't.
I still remember.
I don't know if it's
taste.
fair to compare because that was a buffalo chicken sandwich made from scratch. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff there. That wasn't. That's not as, like, to compare it to the classic Chick-fil-A sandwich with the 2 pickle chips. I'm salivating right now thinking about it.
Chick-fil-A is... What could you possibly say about Chick-fil-A?
But it's kind of dry.
Here's how good Chick-fil-A is. Give me my one shot. Chick-fil-A came out and was like, we don't like gay people. And I was like, fuck, I really like gay people. But I really like chicken sandwiches. I can't stop. It was a Sophie's choice. And for a while, I just had to be like, yeah.
They didn't come out and say that.
I know it's a joke. The guy at the top did. And it's an argument that I hated all the time because it didn't make any sense. IGN was at one time owned by Rupert Murdoch. You didn't get mad at us for fucking phone hacks, did you? Oh, you did?
Well, someone probably did.
I was gonna say, yeah.
The best fast food restaurants are Five Guys and Chick-fil-A. And that's not like some sort of opinion. It's actual scientific fact. It's like when you look at, let's say, the periodic table,
Yeah.
right?
I see some krypton in there, some iron.
It's not, Krypton's not in the periodic table as far as I understand.
Yeah, I
Iron,
believe so.
It is.
Yeah.
KR.
Yeah. Like, I want to say it's element, 86.
Element 86. Unleash Element 86.
Oh, I'm thinking of Kryptonite.
Oh yeah, Kryptonite's not
Yeah,
on there.
yeah,
No, that's
dumb.
totally different.
Let me bring
Atomic
up-
number 36.
Damn it!
Discovered 1898 by Clark Kent.
I have a question for you.
That's really good.
I'm gonna be a Nobel laureate one day. I'm gonna get my Nobel Prize in fucking.
And fucking? Yeah. Just straight fucking?
Yeah.
Because you're giving it
With
to,
the N apostrophe. Be the first one ever. And the last one, because no one's ever gonna be able to match it.
No, never.
Game delay makes a good point per the Nobel laureate in fucking. He says, I don't think you have to be the best in fucking, you just have to make significant contributions in fucking. Which is a different kind of thing.
Have you done that yet, or are you
Yes.
on your way?
Yes.
What has been your contribution to fucking?
Have you seen my dick?
No.
Well,
The Event Horizon. If I saw it, I'd be turned to stone and
look
sucked
away.
inside
Yeah,
of it.
It's Medusa.
Yeah.
Jur Allen gave us a tip and said, curious as to kind of funny's thoughts on why McChicken is trending. He kept fucking that chicken for real. I can say that I saw the video and I was 90% disturbed and 10% turned on by it. So
It wasn't nearly as bad as people were making it out to be. Because when it was trending and I went looking for it, it was just like all the articles were like, don't try to find it, don't try to find it, da da da. And then we finally found a mirror of it. It's like, all right, cool, this guy's fucking a sandwich, big deal. We've all been there.
who hasn't wanted a fucking
Don't be
dollar
all
McChicken?
disgusted and say Jesus, Kevin. You're the one who earlier was talking about the Stranger Things kids being hot, all right?
That was you.
That was what I was reading into your mind, though. You know what I mean? You would put down the railroad tracks. I was just there putting in the railroad ties, all right?
I think the best fast food place is McDonald's.
The best fast food place is McDonald's.
Yeah, because
You're an
here's the thing.
Idiot.
It's always perfect. There you go.
So what you're saying is McDonald's is the most consistent, but
No,
not
I
necessarily
don't-
the best.
I don't think I said
You're not
that.
talking about the
I think I
caliber.
said it's always
but you said it's
perfect.
always something.
It's always perfect.
It's not perfect. I've had McDonald's. It's not perfect. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I crave McDonald's once in a while. I really do.
Yep.
But
And guess what? Every time you crave it, you go eat it, it hits the spot.
for 5 minutes, and then
Those 5 minutes are the best fucking 5 minutes in the world, though. If you want to make double right now.
I guess I'm not gonna dispute that. Five Guys Sucks Ass gave us a tip and said Five Guys Sucks Ass.
I appreciate
I appreciate that. We're gonna actually earmark your money to spend at Five Guys. So that's the irony of the whole thing.
because I love Kevin, even though he says a lot of inappropriate things about these Stranger Things boys and their tight thighs.
All right, that's too far. I'm gonna call it.
Can I get a pedophilia report?
No, you can't get one of those. You're
What a
a monster.
surprise. What a surprise. He's trying to protect his pedophilia thoughts.
Jesus.
All I'm saying is everyone needs to tweet POTUS and warn them about that kind of funny.
No, that's not funny. That is not funny at all. That is not funny at all.
Don't do it. Nobody do it. Nobody do it. Now, what if it was just in general, though? Oh, no, don't do it. No, the Secret Service looks into that, don't they? Yeah, that's bad. Don't do that.
Axel360XX says, Colin, what are your thoughts on the Kaepernick situation? This is complicated. I was thinking about making this my topic on Game Over Greg's show this week, but I didn't.
Saudi, come down. Colin Kaepernick,
Yeah.
to catch everybody up,
Yeah.
49ers quarterback, will no longer stand during the national anthem
Right.
as a protest of how minorities are being treated in the country.
Right.
Specifically, the Black Lives Matter, cops shooting this.
Right.
Okay. Your thoughts?
I made a couple of jokes about it on Twitter.
You had a really good one. The bench one, yeah, you should get used to it.
was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny. I think it's complicated. I don't think anyone disputes that he doesn't have the right to do it.
Correct.
Here's what I think about this, though. I don't think he doesn't have the right to do it, and I appreciate what he's trying to do. But the NFL has long, and this is what I was talking about with someone. To me, the NFL has long been intrinsically tied with like American pride or whatever, and so I think it injures people in a very specific way when you see that.
Yeah.
But I also think the point should be made, and I think it's a valid point, that the NFL has been a bastion, and sports generally have been a bastion to help get some kids, many minority children, out of poverty, right? Get them an education, get them, in some cases like Kaepernick, millions and millions of dollars. And so I don't know, like, it's a good way for him to use a platform where a lot of people watch to make his protest so people take note. But at the same time, I think that the venue is strange, because I feel like the NFL specifically has empowered over time thousands and thousands and thousands of black men, to become successful, to become millionaires that allow them to become later entrepreneurs or provide for their families and all these kinds of things. It's been a kind of ubiquitous place that has been colorblind, And for me, I think that the venue specifically is just a little strange. Kids in inner cities, for instance, that are playing sports, whether they're playing football or basketball or baseball, this is often their ticket out of those situations to at least get a college education free of charge and then take charge of their own lives. And so I think specifically sports has always been kind of this like meritocracy. And it's not really, at least in America, at least in the last 50 years since Jackie Robinson and all that kind of stuff. Sure, there's racism in sports or whatever. What I'm saying is that's one of those places where I don't feel like it's a problem. And so I think that the venue is just a little strange.
I hear
That's
you.
all.
I obviously think he has the right to. I back the decision to do it. I like that he's getting more involved with it. I like the fact that he talks about the fact that he's kind of being woken up to the situation. The reason I like it in this scenario is the fact that I think you're correct, right? But I think that also then when you are typical white person in Wisconsin or wherever and not surrounded by there aren't protests, you only know a few black people. I think it's really easy to look at all these successful black people. They're not downtrodden. Right. This isn't a thing, blah, blah, blah. You think the fact that, for the 0.5% of the people who can get out of the inner city to go play professional sports, you think that's enough for this entire thing, when in reality, it is colorblind. It is painting a rosy picture that underneath the surface there's a whole bunch of shit. And it's similar, I feel, on a much grander scale, right, of us doing it as topics or talking about it in general, in the way of like, it doesn't directly affect me, and I think for the most part, not knowing Colin Kaepernick's family, it doesn't directly affect him in his mansion and whatever he has to do and travel around the world. But he's using the tools available to him in the same way we use the tools available to us to make a point and say that, hey, everyone, wake up, there is an issue here, and I don't have the answers, but we need to figure it out. Yeah, I think that that's the thing I'm trying to say, is that the underlying point of what he's doing, I think, is proper. We've talked a great deal on Game Over Greg's show specifically about endemic racism in the United States. Yeah. To me, I think that it just seems to color the situation a little strangely in a place that is making positive and has been making positive strides for decades. I guess that's what I'm saying, is like the venue is just weird. Like I just think it's like, use that power on Twitter. Say something like you don't understand, like the old NFL fans don't necessarily follow him on Twitter. Don't get me wrong, a lot do, obviously. But I'm saying the fact of doing, and I think this is the other side of it too, right? Right. Is that I think racism and bigotry in general becomes impossible when you meet. I always talk about my gay story, where I used to call things gay until finally a gay friend that I finally met in college was like, don't do that, right? Like, when you meet cool people that are from a different thing, you let down your fucking stereotypes, right? So for Cap to stand up and be like, hey, no, or not actually sit down, I guess, but be like, hey, there's this huge problem, and then people have to start talking about it and be like, oh, you're right, I guess that, like, I really like a whole bunch of black people on this team, and maybe I shouldn't think that every black person is running around with a gun and doing all this different stupid stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a valid argument. Yeah, that's like kind of where I come down on it personally is he has absolutely has the right to do that and to express himself. I don't know who would dispute that. I just feel like sports in America has been such a positive place for the growth of inclusion and the growth of diversity. That's like one of the few places in America I feel like where you find a lot of synthesis between races, where you find a lot of going back many decades, you know?
Yeah,
so I just feel like I'm like, is it necessary? Is it pertinent to what's going on in 2016 in the United States? Sure. I just feel like sports has been such a positive thing for so many people of color, you know? That it's like, why is I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is like it's even complicated in my own mind because I actually agree with what like his point.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, like because a lot of people bring up the point of like, well, there are no black owners in the NFL, for instance, and I'm like, well, no one's stopping a black person from owning a team. Like I don't understand that particular argument, right? There are black coaches, there are black people in great positions of power, general manager, and all those kinds of things.
These white people to die or sell it. Teams.
Right, exactly, or expand, you know, like, so, yeah, there's problems. I just feel like I've always really looked at, like, sports as a positive place for racial justice.
And that's why I think it's a great stepping stone, though, of being able to have a conversation that begins at a positive place. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard, I feel like, you know, there's people on my Facebook, family members, right, who, when one of these shootings happens, they'll talk about the fact of it, and like, oh, the media is going to show you this photo of him in this shirt, but here's this photo with him. There's already a negative starting point there. Whereas if you can start the conversation in a positive place where it is like, you know, like I think a lot of people like Kaepernick, and maybe his performance has sucked recently, but like at least when he was on fire, you were like, man, this guy's got a lot going on. He's great. Yeah. We all love Cam Newton. You know what I mean? Like there's all these different
Cam
things.
Newton's the man.
And that's the whole thing of like building on that positivity by actually starting a conversation where it's like, I've already won points with you. It's not that I'm starting from zero or behind the 8 ball already.
Right. The interesting thing, the dichotomy here actually though, to Kaepernick's point, that I think is powerful, is we had just watched, you and I separately, but we watched the 30 for 30 on O.J. Simpson.
Right.
And one of the underlying themes of that was that O.J. Simpson pretended for a very long time that he was not black. That he had no color at all. And what I mean by that is he wasn't black nor white. He was O.J. Simpson. He had elevated and risen above that status of being a poor black kid in San Francisco to go become one of the great running backs of all time in the NFL. And so he lived a so-called white lifestyle, right? And people resented him for that. They resented that he didn't use his power to try to get racial justice, yet he benefited from racial injustice with Rodney King specifically that was then really netted to him when he was let off for something he was pretty clearly guilty for. But then when he was struggling, then tried to play up the fact that he was a black man in America.
Right.
And so people had a problem with that. So if that's true, and I think it is, then Kaepernick has a point in that respect as well, as I mull it over.
Yeah.
But I've always really enjoyed, I always just felt like sports specifically were many steps ahead of society at large with the way it treated, because sports is a meritocracy, like totally, completely, you know? Yeah. And you go back to movies like Remember the Titans and stuff like that, where that really started, like where teams were no longer segregated, for instance. I always just felt like there was something special in the air with that I feel like it's unfortunate, even though it's the reality of black people in America outside of sports, it's also, for me, unfortunate to see something positive sullied by this as well, in the sense that, like, it's already positive strides are being made. So I guess that's my point. I guess what I'm saying is I kind of see both sides of the argument. Because part of me was like, is Kaepernick not a hypocrite, right? Like, when this first came out, I was like, is Kaepernick not hypocritical, raised by an affluent white family, has millions and millions and millions of dollars, and has no idea what the reality of normal black America is? He doesn't. So that strikes me at first glance as hypocritical. But upon thinking about it, you can see a boldness in the stance as well.
Yeah.
That O.J. Simpson, for instance, didn't take.
Yeah, exactly. He has the platform. He has a chance to make a difference or make a voice heard.
Right.
To elevate and speak for these people that you don't do. And that's the one thing that is like weird, I feel like, right? Like, as great as sports have been for the African American community, for the black community, it also has set that thing up where I feel like so many people you talk to or we see documentaries about, because we're not in the inner city talking to people, but kids feel like sports are their only chance out, right? And when that doesn't happen, because such a small percentile gets through, that happens. And then it becomes the haves and the have-nots, where I think you do have the football fan, Joe Q public, whoever's watching it, man, these guys are so talented, they're so right, but everybody over there, who knows about them? They didn't work hard like these people did. When they probably did work hard to try to do that dream, and it didn't come true.
The one thing that I think is interesting is the evolution, not only of really the evolution of the way the story, the arc with Kaepernick has gone over the last few days, because I feel like it was largely, including with me, negative, or at least with me, cynical, right?
Yeah.
I'm cynical of you, Kaepernick, because you seem to be speaking about an experience you don't understand in a venue that doesn't show that reality, even though the reality is on the walls outside. And when you think about it, you kind of come to a different conclusion when you really sit down and think about it and don't come from a visceral point of view. But it's also been interesting to watch that happen to society at large, I think, generally over the last few days, as people, the whole thing is rubber banded, I think, actually in his benefit. At least that's the way I've seen it on social media. Whether or not that's true outside of the walls there. So.
The walls.
Whatever.
Cool Hand Ukulele. Greg, give Big Kev Dog a sloppy hug for me for all his hard work. Then put your foot in his mouth. Kev's mad at me. Might have crossed the racial line a few times today, and he's all, ooh.
He's like, oh, Greg's a racist.
I just don't know how we're gonna handle food today, guys.
Gamer versus girlfriend, keep fucking that chicken. Stranger Things cast members, or whatever floats your boat. Azurath.
Right.
Dagor Bragagalach.
What?
That's all of them right there.
That last.
He's bringing up Kevin's. Now that we've gotten into Kevin's psyche, and we know that he thinks all these Stranger Thing boys are just going to turn out to be delicious. He's all like offended when people bring it up. That we all saw
You're a
through
fucking
his
monster,
we
Greg.
all saw through his veiled
Legitimately
disguise.
a monster.
That Kevin's out there. He's like one of these. Scouts.
I've turned his mic off. He's saying horrible things about other. God, horrible things. Look at him. Jesus.
It's terrible. It's a terrible thing that you're doing to Kevin right now.
I didn't do anything to Kevin. Just call it like I see it.
We appreciate you, and thank you for joining us. I love you. You can cut the feed.